Menesha, husband, father, grandfather, brother, uncle, and friend, was born October 10th, 1938 in Punjab, China, to Maria and Vasily Menesha. He had four brothers, Nikolai and Peter, who lived in Canada, and Victor and Fred, and his one sister, Tonya, lived in Australia. Both Nikolai and Victor had already gone to be with the Lord. Dad became a believer in Jesus Christ at the age of 17. Shortly after, he had water baptism along with his father in a river in China. He was faithful to the Lord right to the end of his 85 years. In China, Dad began an apprenticeship in mechanics for the Chinese Army and worked as a mechanic for several years. At age 20, he escaped by truck and train to Shanghai. En route of his escape, he was captured by the Chinese police, but shortly released, made it out of China safely. After a short period in Shanghai and Hong Kong, he immigrated to Sydney, Australia at the age of 20. Dad met his wife, Nina, Trushenko at church, and they soon married in April 1962. Together they had 6 children in Australia: Paul, Elizabeth, Tanya, Peter, Michael, and Svetlana. And 2 sons were born in Canada, David and Jamie. In 1970, Dad and his family and wife immigrated to Canada by ship and plane and ended up in Vernon, BC on December 26th. He worked as a carpenter for years. He had to leave his family to work out of town to be able to support his wife and 8 children. He was faithful in providing for his family. At age 58, he developed heart problems and had to have angioplasty. After this, he was unable to work. Dad continued having health issues, but yet had a very positive attitude, never complained about his health, and continued to do as much as he was able to. Dad was faithful to his Lord, always praying for his children and grandchildren, bringing each one of them to the Lord by name. Despite how physically difficult it was for him the last few years, he did not want to miss church or prayer meetings. He was very involved and influential in Sarah and Marcus's lives. His grandchildren took them fishing, camped with them, and supported them in whatever way he could. Marcus really enjoyed going out for breakfast with his yada, where they would have good talks. Dad enjoyed nature, going fishing, camping, and hunting with his friends or his family. He also loved meeting up with his brothers and friends for coffee. Dad went to be with his Lord and Savior very peaceably on his 85th birthday, surrounded by his family. After spending 12 days in the hospital, he was ready to leave this earth and was praying for the Lord to take him to his heavenly home. In the hospital, he was constantly surrounded by his family and friends. He always wanted worship music playing or the audible Bible on at night. It was such a peaceful and beautiful time. He will be greatly missed by his wife Nina, 61 years together, his 8 children and spouses, 12 grandchildren, and 3 great-grandchildren.